Hey, welcome to the video. Today we're going to be doing a broadcast style dynamic microphone roundup. This is by no means a comprehensive dynamic microphone comparison. These are just the ones that I have currently to compare. The reason for doing this video is I recently picked up the Shure MV7X. This is a relatively new microphone. Well, it's not exactly a new microphone, but a new variant of an older microphone that has been really popular since its release in late 2020, the Shure MV7. The MV7X is an XLR-only version, whereas the original MV7 had both XLR and USB connections. If you want to save a little bit of money and you don't really have any interest in a USB microphone, then you have this option now. I've actually done like a handful of videos on the original MV7, so if you're interested in checking those out, then maybe you look at the card up here and then also check the description for links to those videos. I'm going to be comparing the Shure MV7 against a couple of more budget-friendly microphones, the unloved and unpopular PreSonus PD-70 and the much more loved and much more popular Rode Podmic, and then also the much more expensive and very popular Shure SM7B. If you were wondering, this video is not sponsored by anybody. I purchased all these mics with my own credit card. I really just wanted to give you a comparison between these different mics. So if you were in the market for one of these in particular, or just curious about broadcast style dynamic mics, you could get an idea of which one maybe you might want to buy with my affiliate link. This comparison is going to be for your kind of general content creator type workflow for YouTube, for voiceovers, podcasting, streaming, that kind of stuff, and not for musicians. In this video, I'm going to be running all four mics directly into the Rodecaster Pro, and I'm going to be recording through the Rodecaster Pro into Adobe Audition in the stereo mode. So hopefully I'll remember to queue up the mics when I want to talk to them. I'm going to do a backup recording onto an SD card directly into the Rodecaster Pro, a multi-track, so in case I fuck up, I'll at least have a backup that I can fix in post. Speaking of switching microphones, let me go ahead and just switch to another one. You've been hearing the MV7X this whole time, and now you are hearing the Rode Podmic. I have all the microphones going directly into the Rodecaster with no mic activators. You can see there's my Cloudlifter, and here's the Clark Technic CM1. These are the only two mic activators I own, I promise. You can see that neither one is being utilized right now. Everything in the Rodecaster is at its standard settings, so there's no audio processing enabled on any of the mics. You can see there's mic 1, mic 2, mic 3, mic 4. For mic 1, dynamic mic, dynamic mic, dynamic mic, dynamic mic. Okay, so they're all set to dynamic mic settings. And for the levels, I have the Rode Podmic at 46. I've got the, that doesn't seem right. Which one's number 2? I don't know how that got messed up. I'm going to mess with the levels for the PD-70 here in a second, but come back to that one. The MV7, which you were listening to earlier, is at 43, and the SM7B is set to 47. I showed that there's no post-processing enabled in the Rodecaster Pro, but I just wanted to clarify that I haven't done any post-processing in any software either. The only thing I've done is just boost the levels so that they're loud enough for you to hear without jacking up your volume. And just for clarification, as you may notice in the B-roll, the faders for each mic are in the same position, so the gain has been done pre-fader essentially, and then also in post just to boost the microphones to a comfortable level for you to listen to on YouTube. So let me go ahead and switch to the PD-70. I think I need a bigger desk here. Okay, so that looks a little bit hot, I think, from where I want to be. So maybe there, 43, maybe 44. As for comparisons, I'm just going to be switching back and forth between the different mics, and we can do some handling noise and plosive comparisons, those kinds of things, maybe off-axis rejection. And at the end of the video, I'll just read something common across all four mics from the internet, and I'll also have my wife read it so any women out there can have a relevant comparison with the mics as well. So check the timestamps if you want to jump around to different parts of the video. And yeah, so that's it. That's what we're doing here. Try to keep all the mics at a consistent distance from me. Hopefully I'm doing a decent job with that. So I didn't cut out all the bits of me moving the microphones around just so you can get an idea of handling noise in a more practical scenario as opposed to me just touching the microphones. Hopefully it's not too annoying. So let's go ahead and just talk about build quality and features of the microphones. They are all very well built, very solid. Pretty much all metal construction. There's some, plastic trim pieces here and there on the SM7B and the MV7. They're not very flashy microphones. I would say for the most part, the SM7B, very, very slick, very stealthy looking. The Podmic, flashy a little bit in its color scheme and kind of that chrome and black finish. And then I'd say the loudest one is probably the MV7, just because it has that big Shure logo on both sides of it. Although what I like about the MV7X version is that it doesn't have that capacitive touch bar along the top side, which has kind of green and orangey lights. Looks very like Star Trek, Geordie LaForge. That's how I think of it anyway. The only microphone that has any switches on it is the SM7B. So you have a couple different options for frequency response that you can get from the microphone. So this is the flat response mode. You have a high pass filter, so that will cut out some of the low frequencies. This microphone can be a bit dark sounding, emphasizing a lot of bass and low frequencies. So if you want to cut through that a little bit, you have the high pass filter. And then there's also a presence boost switch, which will emphasize some of the higher frequencies or mid to high frequencies, I suppose. None of the other microphones have that. A hot topic for these kinds of microphones is whether they need an activator, a mic activator, or some sort of inline preamp, or a audio interface that has a lot of gain. And they will definitely help you. Obviously, for this video, I'm not using them, so you can judge for yourself whether you think it needs it. The Rodecaster Pro can provide, I think, 55 dB of gain. You'll start getting a lot of hiss or noise from the preamp. So with the SM7B, for instance, I'm at 47, so we're just 8 shy of the maximum. And you can, just listen for the background noise, what you're hearing. If you wanted to sit a little bit further away from these microphones, then obviously you would need to boost the gain. That's another feature of a broadcast-style dynamic microphone, that typically you want to be pretty close to them. If you want to sit 10 inches away, maybe a little bit more comfortable not having a microphone in your face, then you're definitely going to be pushing this preamp to its maximum, in which case you may or may not be getting enough gain, in which case it would definitely behoove you to get some sort of mic activator. Let's go ahead and just do a kind of a handling noise comparison to see how well they would reject or pick up if you were to touch the microphone during your recording. So let's just start with the SM7B. So I'm talking into it and just hitting the back of the microphone and hitting the yoke and hitting the windscreen, etc. So that's the SM7B. So now let's do the same thing with the MV7. So I'm just talking into the MV7 and just tapping the back of it and tapping on the windscreen. Oh, I think it's this one. And now into the PreSonus PD-70. This is me talking into the front of it and tapping on the back of the microphone, tapping on the yoke, tapping on the windscreen. Finally, for the Rode Podmic, talking into the front of it, tapping on the back of it, tapping on the yoke, and finally tapping on the windscreen. While we're here, let's go ahead and do a plosive comparison. I'm trying to talk across these microphones to minimize plosives, so we'll do that first. With the Podmic, Peter Parker prefers the Podmic for podcasts. Peter Parker prefers the Podmic for podcasts. Peter Parker prefers the PreSonus for podcasts. Peter Parker prefers the PreSonus for podcasts. Peter Parker prefers the Podmic 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 for podcasts. To wrap this up, the last thing I'm going to do is just read a little thing from the internet. So we have a common voiceover basically for each microphone, so I can just switch back and forth and you can have a more direct comparison with how they all sound. All your life it's been the same. In the east spiral or the west, no matter what spaceport you tumble into, be it the roughest, seediest hive of scum and villainy, everyone asks, "Where's your boyfriend?" And you have no shortage of applicants. You thought you were fluent at Galactic Basic, but no one seems to understand you when you say, "I'm not interested in guys." Your laser gun ends up having to do the talking for you. The number of star systems you've had to flee you can count on your knuckles. Well, enough. You've heard rumors of a secret paradise planet where people like you can be people like you, a glittering world where women walk arm in arm with women, where you can feel the heat of a lady's reciprocating gaze without having to feel the burn of 1,000 judgmental stares on your skin.
All your life it's been the same. In the East Spiral or the West, no matter what spaceport you tumble into, be it the roughest, seediest hive of scum and villainy, everyone asks, "Where's your boyfriend?" And you have no shortage of applicants. You thought you were fluent at Galactic Basic, but no one seems to understand you when you say, "I'm not interested in guys." Your lasgun ends up having to do the talking for you. The number of star systems you've had to flee, you can count on your knuckles. Well, enough. You've heard rumors of a secret paradise planet where people like you can be people like you. A glittering world where women walk arm in arm with women, where you can feel the heat of a lady's reciprocating gaze without having to feel the burn of 1,000 judgmental stares on your skin.
I don't really want to weigh in with my opinion on these microphones. Just wanted to give you the opportunity to hear them all kind of in this use case and with different types of voices, and that way you can make the decision on your own. If you have any questions, if I left anything out, or you'd like to see some different type of comparison with any or all of these microphones, or recommendation for different microphones you want me to compare, I'd love to hear it. I really appreciate you watching the video, and maybe I'll see you in another one.